I know that it is Friday night, and I appreciate anybody who is popping on tonight. So, really, my message doesn't change because one of the things you'll notice when you go live, people need to be reminded more than they need to be taught. So, we're just going to talk about the fact that creating content isn't the problem. And by the way, if you're watching me on TikTok, you're not going to see any of the slides because the last time I tried to share slides, the last time I tried to share my screen, TikTok got all bent out of shape. So unfortunately, you're just not going to see my slides here. But if you're watching on YouTube, which is what I advise that you do, you can see everything because they don't have a problem with it. But the first thing we're going to talk about is you don't have an audience problem. All right, your problem isn't your audience. Oh, what am I doing here? All right, the problem is not the number of followers. The problem is not the number of views that you get. This is a misnomer. Okay, you don't have that type of a problem. Because when you decide, right, when you decide that you're going to take control of things, it's not about that anymore. It is simply about, are you ready? And it's, look, you know, you've got this, you've spent years doing this, right? You're building expertise. If you are a, if you are a person in your 40s, if you are an expert, 40s, 50s, whatever, if you're an expert, you've built years or even decades having some sort of expertise, and maybe you're even creating content just because you enjoy sharing about that thing, right? And you're earning trust. You're doing that right now, but it's not being rewarded. Not being rewarded at all because this is what's happening. You are still waiting. You're waiting on ad revenue. You're waiting on sponsors. You're waiting on platform payouts. Those things, right? You're still waiting. And the thing about that is, guess what? You're going to keep waiting. All right. That's not going to change anytime soon because these platforms are not here to pay you. They're here to keep you on the platform. And so what they're doing is they are teasing you with the possibility that you could earn money from your content, right? And if they're teasing you with that possibility, they have you as their content slave, right? They have you as their content slave. So what you want to do is you want to break free from that. As I said here, you want independence. That's what you want. You want to stop renting your income. Does that make sense? If it does, drop a 1 in the comments. Because that's what you're doing right now. You're renting your income. And what you want to do is you want to own your income. And the only way that you can do that is if you stop worrying about getting paid by platforms. If you stop worrying about how many followers do I have? How many views did I get? Until you can stop doing that, you're going to be dependent on these platforms, which means you're going to keep posting because you're going to think that you have to have all these views. And that's not the way that it works. The people that are really making money consistently on these types of platforms, they are not worried about how many viewers and how many followers they have. They're not worried about renting that attention because they're out here playing a whole different game than you and I are. Well, I used to play that game. And here's what happened. For those of you on TikTok, I used to have a huge channel with like 41,000 people. And first, they started restricting my content because I was sharing something they didn't want me to promote. So That was number one. Then, number two, they allowed somebody to just outright steal my TikTok channel with 41,000 people. They allowed somebody to just outright steal it. They allowed somebody to email them and say, hey, I've changed my email, I've changed my phone number, and this is now my new contact information. And so once they did that, I couldn't even log on to my own account with 41,000 people. And then shortly thereafter, they removed all my videos, they changed the name of my account, and then they blocked me from seeing the account that I started. And I'm saying that to TikTok because that's primarily where that happened. But here's the thing. You want to get focused on leveraging the fact that your audience already trusts you, right? Your audience already believes you, they like you, they know you, and they trust you. So why wouldn't you leverage that? Doesn't that make more sense? Why wouldn't you leverage the fact that your audience trusts you? They just need a way to buy from you. That's all. And guess what? It's not going to happen on TikTok. And it's not going to happen by you getting paid for views on AdSense, right? They already trust you. So why not leverage their trust by helping them solve a problem, right? So that's what you want to do. You want to help them solve a problem, because if you can help them solve a problem, you have what I like to call the cash flow path. And I'm going to put this over here because this is also very important. But again, you can't see any of these slides I'm putting up because TikTok won't let you. So there you go. You have to come over to YouTube if you want to see the slides. But the cash flow path is simple. It is 3 steps. And if you're here, I want you to listen to this because it's simple and it has nothing to do with making videos and hoping one of them is going to pop off so you can go viral. Has nothing to do with that. It has to do with build an offer. Now, what do you build an offer on? You build an offer based on a problem that you're able to solve already. Whether it's a profession, whether it is a problem you've solved, or whether it is a passion that you like pursuing. You build an offer. That's all you do. And then from building an offer, then you create a place off of social media that they can follow you. And I'm not talking about an email list because nobody in 2026 wants to be on an email list. 0. The problem with an email list is it's one way form of communication, right? It's one form of communication. And I'm looking to make sure, if you have any questions, by the way, if you have any questions, you can put Q : and then your question, and I'll be happy to answer anything you have, right? But so you build a place off of social media. And here's why you build off of social media. Because social media and YouTube also, and I don't really consider that social media, but social media and YouTube are both super information highways, right? Think about the highway. You're going 70, 80 miles an hour. You know, if you're breaking the speed limit, you're going 70, 80 miles an hour. And what's happening is if there was a sign on that road, you're barely going to see it because you're barreling by so fast, you don't see it. You don't take the time. So what you do instead is you build an off-ramp, right? What you build is an off-ramp, and an email list is not an off-ramp. Not in 2026, it's not. But you build an off-ramp, i.e. a paid community. Now, some people will tell you you need to start free and then work your way up to paid. No, you don't. You do not. Now, you need a low barrier to entry, but you can easily work your way and start a paid community right off the bat. And I'm going to show you some examples of people. Again, not on TikTok because they don't like it, but I will show you some examples on YouTube here in just a second. But you build a paid community. And then, so it's 3 building blocks. Build an offer, i.e. solve somebody's problem. Build a community, a place where they can go And the reason you build a community is because you want people hanging out with one another. You want them learning from one another. You want them connecting with one another. And so when you can do that for them, then they want to stay because they feel like they have ownership in it. It's something that they actually enjoy. And then, yes, because if you build your right type of offer, you can build recurring income, not income that has anything to do with how many views or how many followers you have. Wouldn't that be nice? Right? Would that not be nice to be able to do it that way instead? And yes, the short answer is yes, Chuck. Yes, it would. So, what do we do then? We start with one simple offer. Now, I know everybody's trying to pitch all kinds of things to you, all kinds of business ideas. But what is simpler than solving one problem? What is simpler than saying, I can solve this problem for you, go here. And it's only X number of dollars a month to solve that problem. And because you will continually help them solve the problem by answering their questions and having live sessions with them, they'll stay, right? You get what's called retention. So you don't build a course. We're not selling courses here. Yes, you can have courses inside of your community, but that's not the idea of this platform called school. That's not the idea of it. Courses are just a tiny piece of it. The big and most attractive part of school is the fact that you get to actually connect with and be around other people. And community is just people who share the same values, they share the same interests, and they have the same goals. That's what a community is. And that's why it's so much better than social media, because despite what they tell you, social media is not a community. It's just a bunch of people who are randomly viewing your stuff. It is not a community. I don't care what anybody tells you. The only people that are your community are the people you can get to follow you off of social media. But you start with one simple offer. That is it. Whoops, wrong slide there. Sorry about that. And your offer opens the door, right? Your offer opens the door. And what happens when you open the door, and I'm sorry I didn't get these vertical slides ready for you guys, but the offer opens the door. But the real value is once they join. It's not that they buy a course. Again, we're not talking about selling courses, because the problem with selling courses is all the courses are the same. The generic information is outdated, and you are competing against everyone else. Everyone's got a course to sell these days. But the problem with selling a course is you got to sell, if you sold one course this month, you got to figure out how to sell 2 next month and 4 the following month, and so on and so forth. But with a community, you just grow it. And then if you have some things in place to help you grow it, then you get growing and compounding income. So your offer opens the door. Then what happens? He says as he's closing all his windows. Then what happens? Well, then we move to the next part of the process, which is you build predictable income. Who would like to build predictable income? Put a 3 in the chat if you would like to build predictable income. Hi, Cranberry. What's up, Majestic? If you want to build predictable income, imagine if maybe you didn't even have to post on social media and you knew at the beginning of the month how much your income would be. How cool would that be? And if you're not making $1,000 a month from your views or from your audience on either TikTok Shop or TikTok Creator Fund or AdSense, if you're not making $1,000 a month, you want to check out what we have, because we're going to show you how to get to $1,000 plus a month. All right. because you'll know what you earn, and that is a great feeling. You'll know a floor of what you'll earn, because I'm going to teach you how to keep people in your community, right? But that is the first thing. And then the second thing is you start consistently, but small. You don't need a huge community to start. The thing about a community is 10 people is enough to have a community. And you would be amazed how much activity 10 dedicated people who really want to be there can create. You would be amazed by that. So just start with 10 people. That's all you got to do. And then it will grow consistently. See, because here's what happens with those 10 people. Those 10 people become 20 because you incentivize those 10 people to share it with one other person next month. How do you incentivize them? There's a couple of different ways. You can either give them free stuff, you can give them discounts, or my favorite way to do it is to actually allow them to share in the profits that are created when new members come on. It's called an affiliate program, and they get monthly commissions. I see people asking questions all the time. I'd be like, how do I make consistent income from affiliates? Well, you can't do it here, user, because TikTok doesn't want you to know about it. But there is a link in my bio. There is also, and I know you're not supposed to say that on TikTok either. That's why I really don't like TikTok, to be honest with you. I know a lot of people have success with it, but they don't like me. They have restricted my lives. They have stolen my account. So but there is on my profile, you can find out where everything is. You can also go over to YouTube where they act like adults and everything is there, including the screen that I'm going to share. Okay. But you just start consistently, small. You just need a handful of people, and then you are good to go. Trying to get my screen here, and sorry I'm squinting because I don't have the greatest eyesight in the world. All right. Now, here's the problem with most programs and most business models. They want you to be in 18 different places, right? They want you to they want you to have a website. They want you to have a landing page. They want you to have an email list. They want you to have Zoom. They want you to have a payment processor. They want you to have automation, right? They want you to have all this stuff. But what if everything could take place in one? What if it could just take place in one place? One place for everything you need. How would that be? No more sending people to 5 different places. I was in a YouTube course, and the coursework was on one platform, the platform that I use. You had to go to another platform to pay them, and you had to go to a third platform to get any support. How does that make any sense? So they had a Discord to actually speak to a human. They had courses in school, and then you had to go to this platform called WAP to pay them. Dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. But you need one place. And then once you have one place, you know what you can do? You can stop chasing views and you can start building freedom. Because you only have one place to show up. You don't have to do social media. Well, you want to create content to get people to your school, but you don't have to worry about how many times you post. Or, gosh, I only got 27 views. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. And that's what I find refreshing about this platform. And then what we do is we build an income that we own. How would you like to build an income that you own and not that is owned by TikTok or not that is owned by YouTube? How would you like to take control? Does that sound like a cool thing? Does that sound like something that's worth a... Yeah? Does that sound cool? We'll do it again. But that's what you want, right? Don't you want control? Because you don't have it right now. You don't have it. If you're relying on these platforms, if you're relying on brand deals, if you're relying on, you know, subs, if you're relying on all of this stuff, you have absolutely no control. You need to figure out how to build your own. So that's why we have the cash flow path. And the cash flow path is quite simple because all we do is we help you build a group, start recurring income, and then scale your group because we teach you how to incentivize people. So, doesn't it make more sense for you to build your own? Something you own. Because, believe me, the worst feeling in the world was logging on to my account and finding out somebody stole it after I spent all that time trying to build it to 41,000 people. Do you know how long that took? That took a long time to get to 41,000 people, and it was gone overnight. Gone overnight. So, and by the way, you can't see any of the slides that I'm sharing here on TikTok. I haven't decided if I'm going to use TikTok Studio and do this. And the reason I haven't decided that is because every time I share my screen on TikTok, every single time I get this thing that says your live is restricted. And I'm like, what's the point? Right? What's the point? So I decided that I'm going to focus most of my time on YouTube because that's the people who run YouTube are adults. They don't care what you promote. They don't care if you say link in bio. They don't care what screens you share. They're adults there. They're not threatened by what TikTok is threatened by, and that is school. TikTok is 100% threatened by school. Otherwise, they wouldn't act the way that they do. So, sorry if that offends, the TikTok world, but that's just the way that it is. And I am going to get this off of here. And then I'm going to take this off. Now, for those of you on YouTube, now you can see inside of our community because we're going to show you. And let's get that off there. All right. So now you can see inside of the community. This is the cash flow path. This is not a course. This is not a high ticket mastermind. It's nothing like that. It's simply a place where you can go and you can learn. What's up, Leanne? How are you? Hello, hello. So here at the cash flow path, we have a community, which is kind of like your Facebook. It's kind of like your Facebook feed, except there are no ads, right? There's no ads to distract you. When you look here, you see there's no ads. But what's interesting is they actually run ads for you to help you get new members. So what if somebody else was helping you get members? Does that sound pretty cool? I know it did for me, but let me show you. Let me see if I can find when I posted when I first saw one of my ads. When was that? When was that? Just looking to see, because I posted it on my I posted it. Where did I see it? It wasn't that far ago, was it? Oh, that's new cover. Huh, I can't find it. All right. Well, anyway, so what happens is they They run ads and they help us find members, which is pretty darn cool. But here in the community, this is where people can ask questions, they can share wins, they can do all kinds of stuff in there. And then you have a classroom. And again, people aren't paying for the classroom. And that should not be the focus, is a classroom. A classroom is just, hey, this is how you do it. But if you want to really learn how to do it, come to this live event. Like I have a live event every Saturday in my community, and everybody who's in my community is invited to that event. So if you join my community, it's only $7. You do get a free trial. So if you join and you show up for one of the events and you look around the community and you decide it's not for you within 7 days, you don't get charged. But you get to poke around and see what it's like in there. But yes, so we do have a free trial. Now, if you and then if you want me to really help you put this thing together, then I have I have more help inside the community. But events, live events. Remember how I said, you got to have Zoom and all that stuff? You don't have to do that with school, because inside of school, there's this little button right here. It says go live. Watch this. And hopefully you can see this. I believe you can. All right. You can see. Now, if I click this button right here, if I click this button and I say join call, look at that. I am live inside my community right now, which means you can have people on a live call where you don't need to pay for Zoom. So that's $15, $17 a month you don't need, right? You don't need an email autoresponder, because every third day, any post you make can become an email sent to everybody inside of your community. And unlike Facebook, like Facebook groups, every post is seen by every single member of your community. I'm going to get off of this. But so, yeah. So you can go live inside your community. Then you can have leaderboards and you can have competitions with people. You can see Kathleen is one of my best people, and she's got her own. She is a bestseller, an international award-winning author, and she's inside of our community. Danny is inside of our community. She has a community for foster care parents in the UK. Then I've got Blake. Blake is a very accomplished volleyball player, and he helps people go from like rec league to actually being able to compete in tournaments. Then you've got who else we have here? We have Jager, and he does a painting community. We have Stephanie. She has a healing and body, mind, and spirit community for menopausal women. Then we have Ted. He helps people with infinite banking. So we have that. Who else do we have here? We have Aisha, who is getting ready to start her community, and she helps people take and find like discarded items and turn them into really cool pieces of individual furniture. We've got Ray, who helps people learn English. He is a first-generation Cuban immigrant, so we have him. We have Claire. Claire has a, what is Claire's community here? She is an artist, so she teaches people how to do art. Jim teaches people how to graduate in less than 4 years if they want to get a bachelor's degree. So we have all these people in this community teaching all sorts of different things. So you're not just learning from the person who owns the community. You're learning from everyone. And what's nice about it is when you go to the About page, I can show you exactly what it's like to get a free trial. So you can read the page, and then you can click Start Free Trial. And then for $7 a month, and again, you get 7 days to try it out. For $7 a month, you can start your school in 3 days. You can get a free one-on-one session with me if you use my link to start your school, and then you can connect with all the other members of the group. And in that first 7 days, you'll be able to get one group call. And then if you decide that it's worth it, you can upgrade. And if you want to upgrade, then you get every single call that I do. You get live access and you get recorded access to every single call. Plus, I will help you write the basics of your group. I will help you come up with an image. I will help you write this description. I will help you with your about page. I will help you determine what images go in here, right? I'll help you with all of that. I'll help you price it. I'll help you with all of that stuff. So that's what is inside of my community. Now, what's interesting is you can go on to what we call discovery, and you can see that there are communities in every subject you can possibly imagine. So we have hobby communities like salsa dancing, or learn to scrapbook and create notebooks inside of Canva. You've got a co-sleeping community. This woman, they actually dig for real crystals, video editing, learning Spanish, learning to tattoo, learning to color grade, learning to fly drones, learning to act, learning to embroidery, creative drawing. What else do we have? We have chess. And these are all just hobby communities. Then we got music communities. You can learn how to sing. You learn how to play harmonica. Tons of guitar communities. Worship guitar communities. Rock guitar communities. Jazz guitar communities. Classical singing. Learn how to make a full-time income from music. Learn how to play any song on the guitar. There's a voiceover school that teaches you how to get voiceover jobs. There's a production group that teaches you how to produce music. It's all over the place. Learn jazz. What else do we have here? Lots of guitar, lots of singing, piano, saxophone, trumpet. Hey, what's up? How are you? So that's music. Now in the money category, a lot of it is AI. A lot of it isn't. Some of them are side hustles. Some of them are UGC. Some of them are sales communities. Here's Pinterest. Here's Etsy. Here's selling leads. Here's how to buy a house without any money down. Here's real estate school. Here is how to use make.com, and it's called Maker School. Here's another Etsy school. Here's Canva. Here's how to create party crafts and turn that into a business. TikTok Viral Academy. Going viral on TikTok is not a big deal. You shouldn't even, that shouldn't even be something you care about. Learn how to fix your credit. What else do we have here? Canva again. We have another Canva community. We have, let's see, AI, Claude for coaches. Here is you have to qualify to get in community run by Alex Hormozy himself. LinkedIn, get more clients from LinkedIn. Make money with direct mail. These are all money categories. Now in spirituality, because you don't have to teach people how to make money. You can do it any way you want. Here's School of Prophets. Let's see what else we have here. We're having some delays. So these are just, these are people that, have a spiritual side to them. And yes, they're making money from that. There's tech. Learn how to Claude. Learn how to faceless AI. Learn how to make AI films. Learn how to AI write. Learn how to hack to protect your identity. Electronic repair. Learn how to, repair your devices. All kinds of stuff in here, right? Tons of AI communities. I don't know what the difference between all of them is, to be honest with you, because there's so many of them. There's health communities inside of here, peptides, looks maxing, more peptides, tons of peptide communities in here now. What is this? Looks Max Gym and sources for everything. I don't really know what that is. There's raw vegan communities. There are kettlebell communities. There are heavy lifting communities. There's a shredding community. There's a weightlifting posing community. More peptides. Move like an athlete. Recover. Flexibility. More kettlebells. Calisthenics. Something called Core Club. One for diabetes only, for people with pre-diabetes only. Let's see what else. ADHD. Beat menopause, belly fat, 3 doctor-led steps. Right? And what you can see if you're on YouTube right now is you can see you've got some of these communities have hundreds of people, some have thousands of people, and they go anywhere between free and a couple $100 a month. Just depends on what problem you're solving for people. Then you have sports. Look at this guy. He's got 1,000 people in his community, and it's $9 a month, and he's teaching them how to skateboard. Here is how to stay injury-free, soccer, black belt, building your fighting career. So that's like, mixed martial arts, train like an athlete, volleyball, goalkeeping, you name it, right? They're all here. Basketball, improving your speed, becoming a smarter football fan, boxing, tumbling training, track and field, baseball, rugby. So you got all these people teaching all kinds of sports. Then you have self-improvement. You have master math in half the time. You have how to get a better SAT score, biohacking, claviculars. What else do we have here? Dog training. How to become a project manager. You name it. I mean, it's all here, right? This guy says he teaches you how to become limitless, how to master your nervous system. He's got 1,600 members. It's $29 a month. You do the math, right? And then we've got one final category, and that is relationships. So you've got the Feminine Society, Master Online Dating, Attraction Archives, more dating, marriage communities, healing, marriages, authentic social skills, get dates, from heartbreak to secure love in 63 days. I don't know how you can promise that, but that's what the guy's promising. Attraction Academy, stop having the same arguments you have had with your kids. So these are all relationship communities, right? So you can do all of this stuff. Doesn't matter what your thing is. I'm going to some of these questions. Hello, Saeed. How are you? Not the place to discuss this. Don't discuss things I have no control over, and I don't watch the news, and I don't watch the media. So, unfortunately, you have come to the wrong place if you want to have a pop culture or a current events discussion. We're showing people how to create communities and make monthly income. So, sorry. But yeah, so that is what school is. And if you have, questions about school, you can check out my community for 7 days. You can ask questions inside any of my videos, or I believe this one is being recorded. You can ask questions at the bottom of that. But if there are no questions, and it doesn't look like there are any questions, I am going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'm going to try to figure out how to work this thing with TikTok. But every time I show screens on TikTok, they ban me or they restrict my lives. So I'm pretty much over TikTok and their stupid restrictions. But YouTube, love you. Love YouTube. I get questions on YouTube. I can show screens on YouTube. Like right now, I'm showing my community on YouTube. Now, you can also be found inside of here with keyword search, like creator monetization. And you will see I am on page 1 of creator monetization. What else? What are some of my other keywords? Let me see. Oh, I think I went back to. No, okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna share my keywords, but I'll show some of them to you real quick. What are some of my keywords? Ah, okay. Let's see how I let's see. Am I on that one? Yes. Build income, just the words build income. Build income you own. I am on page 1. Let's see. Build a paid community. I am also on page 1. See, so you can get ranked for those keywords as well. So it's pretty darn cool. So they got a very advanced search techniques, and I'm going to see if I can find it. This is going to be the last thing I do for the day. Let me see if by going to Facebook, I can see an ad for my community. Let me see here. Hang on, guys. I'll let you see all my Facebook logins and everything. Hang on a second. Because I want to show you how they are, they're actually advertising for us, which is really cool. There we go. So I want to show you these ads if I can find one. All right. Yes, I trust this device. Good Lord. Come on, Zuck. What are you doing? Now, I'm not even going to bother sharing my Facebook on there just because it's so annoying how they do this. Let's see, am I on one of these ads? I don't think I am. But let's refresh and see if I'll show up on one of these ads. No, I don't see it. All right. Well, anyway. So, yeah, so that's school. And that's a heck of a lot better way to make income than worrying about some silly some silly view count or a number of followers. So if you have any questions, again, I'm going to check one more time here. I'm going to check and see if there are any questions. I do not see any. So we're just going to wrap things up. Hope you guys have a good night. I will be on much earlier tomorrow. But I go live every single day and I make a piece of mid-range content. I don't go 10, 15, 20 minutes. My videos are usually 4 to 5 minutes long. And I just try to share things, that are going on inside of my community. So I hope you guys have a good night, and we will talk to you tomorrow.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.